Disclaimer, ignore what is on my face. I play with makeup.
What's up YouTube? I'm Omar here with Pain, and it's 1:40 a.m. Yes, we sleep so late. However, we'll bring a video. I'm here to teach Pain about spell counters. You know, it's the whole spell counter theme. She might want to know about the spell counter. Now, so let's take notes. You ready? Now, let's see. A good card I find really well in spell counters is the field spell. Can you see it? Yeah. Magical Citadel of Endymion. Now, why is it? Because it stores your spell counters, you know? It stores them. You activate a spell, it gets a counter.
Is there ever a limit to counters? Is there
Nope. You can have 10, 20, 50, 100. Even though I don't know if that's impossible, but yes, there's no limit how many this can hold. And if it gets destroyed, all you do is move a counter and it stays on the field. Now, here's a ruling. If your opponent activates another field spell, this goes away no matter how many counters you have. Got that?
That sucks.
That sucks. Because I be on DN and I play someone who uses a card at the field spell and they said, oh, I remove a counter, not destroyed. It's not how it works. It just replaces the field spell. You know, so it is. But still, if you have a card with counters that get destroyed, all those counters don't go away. They will go on this card. That's it. So this is a good store card. You know, good store. Now another card that involves spell counters is actually one of my favorites, Breaker. Now Breaker, when it's summoned, gets a counter. Now this card has a limit. You can only have one.
I know that much.
Because every counter he gains 3 attack. So his strength, sorry, pupil, is at a limit. So yeah, however, you may spend the counter for this effect, pop up back row, and if you do want a spell counter deck, you may just add another counter and pop another one.
I wonder where I saw that before.
I don't know. It's quite recently, huh?
Quite recently.
Yeah.
I can't put my finger on it.
I think you did it.
I don't think it was me. That wasn't me.
It wasn't you?
That wasn't me.
But it looked like you.
It wasn't me.
Okay. But Breaker, obviously a card that everybody likes.
Random bitch.
Really? Random.
Don't trust her.
But Breaker is a card that everybody knows. Well, most people know. Pop back row. Pop. It's an MST in the monster effect. Now, another card that also sees play, well, not really, but it's more of a FTK Exodia play, will be Royal Magical Library. Why do I say? I did a bunch of spell cards, put this guy with counters, move 3, draw a card. Now, I've seen the build. We have these 2 cards, combo them, and get your FTK Exodia.
I remember where I saw that again.
Yeah. So how it works.
Response?
Yeah, think about it. Every time you spell, this and this get a counter.
If you want to see a sort of skit of this, check out I'll link it in the description box below. We did a video response for Yu-Gi-Oh! Or YGO Britain to freaking OTKs and how player interaction gets killed, and we use this example. So if you want to bet in depth, check out the link down below. Cool. Now,
another effect that this field spell has, I didn't mention before, is if you activate an effect that requires spending spell counters, you may use the spell counter on the field spell instead. See, this card's so good. The field spell is so good. If you have it, protect it. Use field barrier, whatever you need to protect to keep this field spell on the field. You know, it's so good. It's so good. Now, what I like to call the notes. It's a spell counter engine. This card right here, Spell Power Grass. It is the engine of the spell counter deck. Why? Activate this card, place a spell counter field, and you can add another one from your deck. So definitely run 3 of these, because it's the engine of spell counters. It will always keep your spell counter count high. Excuse me for my stuttering.
It's probably the only card I ever run 3 of.
Yeah.
I don't run multiple cards.
Yeah, but I recommend you run 3 of this.
If I ever run that.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Now, besides spell paragraphs, there are other cards you may use to place counters on other cards. That was a spell. Now the trap is called, I don't remember his name, Pitch Black Power Stone. You set it, activate it, this card gains 3 spell counters on the spot. Its effect, once per turn, you may move a counter from this card to another card. For example, Breaker. Right? Then I want pop, pop, pop. You know, spell counters are good, you know. However, what's so bad about it? You must keep your spell counter count high at all times. The higher
it's useless.
The higher it is, the more of an advantage you have. That's how that's the basic idea of it. The more you have, the more advantage you have to swing for game. Right? Now, let's talk about this card. Sidebar. Arcanite, can we see it? Arcanite Magician and the Mercury Circumfusion, which I can't show. The Supreme Arcanite Magician. Now, when these are summoned,
what about the assault mode?
That one too, good idea. You have it, right?
I have it somewhere.
It's just for the complete set. Bam.
And the assault mode is somewhere.
Yeah. However, this is how this is now. Like Breaker and Library. Library has a max of 3 counters. Breaker max of 1. These don't have max at all. So if you can fully utilize the spell counters, these cards can be pumped up real strong. 2400, 3400, 4400, 5400 attack, 6400 attack. Now, does that sound nice to you?
So don't underestimate the powers of spell counter decks.
No, man, no. they require the spell counters, and this video is to teach you how to utilize spell counters to your advantage. It's good, you know. I like the deck. I like the concept of it, you know. It's power, you know. Just grasp that spell power. Pretty much, huh? So, pupil, what have you learned today about spell counters?
That if you use them right, you can rape your opponent.
Yeah, mind rape. Quick review. Recommend run 3 of these. You have to. Build spell. If you run it, try your best to protect it, you know. This is your storage of your spell counters, you know. Right? This spell, if you do run it, keep it on the field. Keep it on the field. Now then.
Don't be a dingus and have it go away.
Don't do that. Use Field Beggar if needed to keep it, because it's worth it. The protection is worth it. Now then, I see you taking notes. I think that's the end of my class. Now, show me what you've learned.
Yeah.
What? What is that?
It's a kitty saying attack right meow, and it's a Kuribo on the field. See, the kitty has a dual disc. It's a doing kitty. That's what I learned. It's kawaii. See? Kawaii. Right there. If you don't know what that means, it means cute in Japanese.
You know what? It is virtually impossible to teach this game to somebody. Impossible.
I already knew how to play this shit. So yeah. Kawaii!